Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Geekyaviseq, and today I'm bringing a mini review of the ZTE Blade Spark, or the ZTE Z971 for AT&T prepaid. So the reason I'm doing the review for this particular phone here today in July 2018 is because this phone was launched last year, or in the end of 2016, and was exclusively available for AT&T prepaid, and was launched at a price of 120 bucks. And for a phone from that period, it, it had all the sweet spot that you could ever want from an Android smartphone. So the first thing, like in terms of the build quality, as you can see, the phone feels pretty solid, even though this is not metal, but the like whatever this plastic, which looks like metal frame, is feels pretty solid. I mean, uh, there's no flex or bending or anything. Has It's not super light, it's not super heavy, so it's a nice device. From the front, as you can see, the 2.5D curved glass. It's also very simple, except for the menu buttons on the bottom, and the back is actually little textured, as you can see. I mean, let the camera to focus, and has a provides a very nice grip. So when it comes to specs, so it has the 16:9 aspect ratio with a 5.5-inch LCD screen. The screen is very good. I mean, compared to the price of the phone, when I'm looking at it, it's very bright. The text is very sharp. So I had no complaints when it comes to the screen. It's actually looks like a screen from a much more expensive phone. In resolution wise, it's a 1280 into 720p, and it gets pretty bright, so it's easy to look at the screen from outside. So right now I booted the phone, so that's how much time it takes for it to boot up. So it isn't too bad. In terms of the processor, it's powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 425 processor, um, and then it has 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of internal memory. The battery is actually pretty good. It's 3140 milliamp hour. It's running Android 7.1.1. Uh, it's very close to stock. I mean, the overall interface and everything is very close to stock. There are some apps which are AT&T specific, but even you can't really uninstall them. So you have to go ahead and disable them. I've already went ahead and did that. So this is how it looks, um, after disabling all the unnecessary AT&T apps that are there. So in terms of storage, you would have probably around 8 gigs left after. So there's right now it's showing that almost like 12 of the 16 gigs has been used up, but I do have a few apps installed. So there's about 60 apps that's already installed. Nothing major, but just like regular stuff like Amazon, Facebook. um, so that's one issue that I noticed, was the lack of memory. I wish there was a 32 gig versus the 16 gig. The 2 gigabytes of RAM isn't that bad, because overall the phone is pretty snappy for day-to-day tasks. I mean, this is not a high-end flagship device, right? So this is under $150 phone right now. You can actually buy this for like 80 bucks from different stores. So you can buy it directly from AT&T, or you can go to Walmart or Best Buy or Fry's Electronics. So as you can see, the screen is pretty nice. um, the screen resolution, everything is pretty sharp, all the text. So I mean, hats off to ZTE for making such a good screen. Build quality is also good. This has the fingerprint scanner, 13 megapixel camera on the back, 5 megapixel on the front, USB-C charging port, um, and then you have the SIM card slot and the micro SD card expansion. You have the volume rocker and the power key. So overall, I mean, I really like the phone when it on. I mean, when I'm holding it, used it for basic stuff. I think this is a really good phone if you're on a budget and if you're on AT&T. The other thing that this phone can be unlocked for pretty cheap. Like if you are able to find an unlock code on eBay, it's probably cost you a couple of dollars, and you can get this unlocked and you can use it with different service. Right now, as you can see, I have it on Metro PCS, and camera is nothing to talk about. It's a very basic camera, even though it's 13 megapixel. Uh, it will get the job done, but if I was like, as you can see, this picture, it isn't bad. Um, it's very, if you're just using it for social media uploads, it would just be more than sufficient. Um, like as you can see, it's a decent selfie camera, nothing to talk about much, but it's not like for a phone at this price, camera is actually pretty good. The only phone which I felt had a better camera than this was probably, or of the same similar camera, is like the Moto E4. I would say the camera on the ZTE, this phone is actually better than the Moto E4. So in terms of value for money, I think this is a better phone. Even though it's only got 16 gigs of memory, which may be an issue if you are a heavy app user. But it's running Android 7.1.0, so you can install a memory card and then go for the adaptable storage option, which will merge the internal and the external memory, and then I mean you shouldn't have any issues. So I mean, if you are in a budget and looking for a cheap phone that you want to use for AT&T, this is really a good phone to get right at this point in time. Has everything that you would want from a phone in 2018. I mean, it has a fingerprint scanner, USB-C port, has a nice 5.5-inch screen, which is pretty bright, crisp, and it's the correct aspect ratio. The 16:9 aspect ratio, and has got a decent camera. Battery life is good. It's also not the not the MediaTek processor, so it's Snapdragon 425. So it's also a decent processor for an entry-level phone. Reception, call quality, everything worked out pretty good. Didn't had any issues. So for less than $100, this is a really good phone to get. Let me just show you a few more things. So this is most of the apps that's been pre-installed, and it's running. So most of it looks exactly like stock Android, and I'm gonna go show you the Android version on it. So it says Android 7.1.1 and running a security patch from December 1, 2017. So I have not been using this phone on AT&T. I'm using it on Metro PCS. So I haven't really checked if there's a software update to it. I assume not, because some of these cheaper phones, that's one of the problems, is that they don't get as many updates. And it's a problem with any of the carrier branded devices as such, especially if it's Android. So many of the flagship phones also don't get software updates, so you have to buy a new phone just to get a newer version of Android, which sucks, but that's how it is. But if you're looking for a basic camera for your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, and you only have $100 to spend, then this is a very good phone. I mean, it has everything that you would wish from a phone in 2018. It has a decent camera, good battery life, decent microprocessor, a very good screen, and battery life, overall performance is also very good. Battery life is also very good. So I mean, it's a good phone, bottom line. Alright guys, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say about this phone, and bye for now. Subscribe to my channel, leave your comments, like my videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye.